Welcome, everyone. This is your March training titled Creating Interactive Activities with Google Slides and Docs. I am your technology liaison from North Clayton High School. I'm Miss Hartley, and today I want to just make sure you have the resources you need to get in contact with me in case you have any questions about this particular training video, any content that I've presented previously, and any questions you may have in regards to Google for education applications that's including Google Slides, Google Sheets, Jamboard, Google Docs, all of the above, specifically Google Forms. I can go down the list and I will be more than happy to provide you with the information that you may be seeking. I am in room 141, two doors down from the teacher's lounge on the ninth grade hall. And you can also email me at sonia.hartley@clayton.k12.ga.us. Let me go ahead and go straight into the content for today because I want to be respectful of your time. Today we are focusing on the why and how of facilitating creativity for our students using Google Slides Theme Builder, which is something that I haven't used prior, as well as Google Docs. And we're going to use tables and shapes for the interactivity. So, moving ahead, basically, in a nutshell, we're working on how to create specifically choice boards. But I wanted to ask you prior now, this would have been a jam board if we would have working together. So I just utilized the feedback I received from a training session prior to this one, just what other educators thought ways are that we can turn our students' creativity up more. And it seems that the theme across the board has been suggestions by including music, puzzles, any type of video or audio, um, allowing them more time to be creative, or even creating their own activities to allow creativity. That kind of rhymes together, creating their own activities to support creativity. So I want to see what else other teachers had to say in regards to how we might get students to respond if we provide them with freedom to create any product. Um, when I allow them to do so, there's a mixture of anything from positive to negative feedback or responses when I first introduce um, a way for them to creating their own product. I've had students that were lost. Some love to take their own ownership or even have a sense of pride in the product they provide. I've seen people, well, students get excited and it gives them a sense of having accountability for the things that they are interested in creating themselves. So, I've also seen students get extremely stressed out or they're surprised that they can go ahead and pour from themselves into the work that they're creating. And of course, there are some students that will end up taking forever because have um, they don't have experience to being creative and creating their own product. So, what can we do to boost students' creativity while also maintaining focus? That's the question. So, things that I've done and other trainers and liaisons that I've had a conversation with said that, and I've just recently done that with a project that my students did in class. I provide them with a checklist. And I need checklists for myself, and you do probably as well to make sure that you get everything done. Um, Give them a practice activity to lead into what you may require of them, or provide them with a rubric or some type of guideline so they're not all over the place. And I've seen that before if I'm not specific about what I'm looking for when I give them activities. I've given them examples from students from previous semester work or even a model, but I have to always be specific that students know that it should not be the exact thing because it they have a tendency to want to recreate what they've seen before, or they even won't ask for you to share, the product so they can have access, and they will literally go ahead and copy everything, and that is no purpose in that. So let me go ahead and show you some things that I've learned recently on how to create choice boards using Google Slides and Google Docs. In the Google Slides, let me come out of this, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new one. So you may see all kinds. Oh, let me come out of here because I'm already giving things away. So these are some of the examples that I have to share. So I'm going to go ahead and open a new presentation, and I'll go back to that in just a few minutes. And here is a brand new Google slide. So we're clicking on view just to get a start, and I'm going to go to theme builder. So that's something I hadn't really used or paid attention to. So of course, Google is an ever-changing platform, and I'm always excited when I am introduced to something new. And theme builder is something that I think that will benefit quite a few people. I've come to the realization that if I put a little work in on the forefront to create certain content or materials, I can reuse those things all the time. So I'm clicking on theme builder, and I just recommend, if this is something that you're interested in using, that you follow along with me. Maybe pause this video so you can go ahead and follow along with what I'm doing. So I click on theme builder, and here is an entire theme or template that you can create for this. So it's personalized to what your needs are. If you scroll down, of course, the top one is the theme itself. And I'll come back to this in just a few minutes to explain why I'm not using the very top slide to create this, and go all the way down to the very last one in the deck, the one under the X's, and here you go. So just to give you the basics on it, there's so many different things that you can do. You can either insert and maybe add shapes, which oftentimes that's something that would work if you're doing a Venn diagram or something where you're creating bubbles, but that's not really my thing. But that's your choice, whichever you'd like to use. We have a ton of choices when it comes to shapes when we're using Google Slides. But today I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I would do it. And actually, that's something I'm going to do and I've done before in the past, just not using the theme builder. And I am clicking on table. And today I'm going to do like a traditional choice board option, maybe 3 by 3. Looks like a tic-tac toe. Am I saying that right? I'm so used to saying TikTok. So tic-tac-toe game. And I did 3 by 3, and I chose those, and I'm clicking on it. So I have 3 by 3. I want to go ahead and make that a little more rectangular. Well, maybe not. I'm not going to obsess over this like I would if this was for the students, but here we go. So traditional choice board per se. Let me see. I will go ahead and maybe use a different color for the top 3. So I highlighted those 3, and I'm picking the color right here from the bucket to fill the color. And let's do some pretty pastels. Well, maybe not too pastel. Go a little lighter. For the top 3, I will use a different color for the middle 3. And we'll go ahead and use something else for the bottom 3, just to give it a pop of color. And plus, we want to maybe possibly have a theme going across to, if this was a tic-tac-toe type of choice board where the student has to choose different, like maybe one from each color. Instead of saying, well, pick one from each row, just say, well, choose one from each color. How about that? All right, so we have this. And now if you go back, this is my setup. If you go back into, we're coming out of here. And if you go back into the Where do we have it? Slides, layout, and it pops up on the bottom. So it's you literally just added a new template or layout option that's permanently in here. And the beauty of it is the students, I'm sorry, the students cannot change this. Of course, my suggestion is for this to literally work without them manipulating it 100%. Go ahead, when you go back into your theme builder, familiarize yourself with getting into the theme builder to go ahead and already know what your choices are and add them right here. So if you add them right here, and then once you click out of it, let's see, let me do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If that's how you choose to do it, it's automatically saved. So always remember that. And now there's no way for the students to be able to change this. So moving forward, I am going to let's see, give you a heads up why I did not use the very first slide in the theme builder. So the trick to that is that if you use the very first slide, it will literally change everything on every other slide that you're using. So say per se, this is bold, and then I want to change it to another color. Let me use something that's kind of stands out. And if you click on it, then you notice all the other ones, all the titles on the following ones have changed. So it basically changed the theme for the entire. Let me just go wild here. Let me see. Let me right click, change the background, which you should probably already be familiar with. I'll keep up with this pastel theme. I'm probably going overboard here, but it changes the entire theme. So let me make sure and check my notes and make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So this is the key in it all. For you to be able to create something that the students cannot manipulate and that presents a choice board. And I think well, I teach ninth grade, so ninth graders were asking me what I would do for finals, and um, I know this might seem like it's more work, but I want my students to be successful. I'm not trying to set them up for failure. So if I give them options to create their final project or maybe have a final exam option in there, and I can just hear minds clicking like I'm not creating more than one. But if you are preparing this now, then you may not have to go ahead and create another option for finals or EOC or whatever the case is that you have the freedom to do. You won't have to recreate it every year. And some people go with the same thing every year. Whatever works for you, this is just an option, or it could be something that you can prepare for the new school year and a new semester and actually build on this. And the beauty of it is that all you have to do is change the content, not change the theme itself. So let me show you. And at first, I thought that I might just go ahead and show you the video that we created as a team, but then I, decided let me just show you the product of what some of the other liaison have created. So this is definitely one of the ones that are considered progress boards, where you're giving the students step-by-step instructions on what they needed to do throughout the choice board, either drawing, I want to say either or, whatever your instructions are, because so many students, and I tell this to my ninth graders all the time, it's all about being able to read and follow the instructions, being able to look at the instructions and go ahead and follow through with them, because that's a life skill that they really need. And I see so many ninth graders that do not have the skill to be able to follow instructions. So progress boards, And this is the second slide. So let me go ahead and make it a little bigger so it's a better visual for you. Go ahead and look at this. And I think it's very visually inviting, and it may work for you, it may not work for you. And I'm not going to sit here and read all the options for you, for inspiration. So this is the next one. And those templates are available. If you need them from me, I can go ahead and email those to you by request. And here is another one, where you are giving students choices on what their requirements are, and that's the whole purpose. But these choice boards are considered to be progress choice boards. All right, so this is one, then created by a math teacher. I love this one. So there are different ways to even complete assignments. Maybe Kahoot or Cool Math, which I teach social studies, so I'm not that familiar with some of the other ones, but definitely know about quizzes and Kahoot. So I think this is it right here, where if you set this up prior, this can literally create an entire week's the not assignments but practice to apply the skills that they've attained by attending class and what they've learned. And there's so many sources out there. It's not like you have to create every last one of them. The beauty of it is you just create the template and add the links to go along with it. Here we go, is another one, and this one is pretty good, and she's actually added um, interactive, well, a GIF, or just things that are more enticing to the student, where they're getting a choice to actually click on something, and I'm not clicking on it, but for them to be able to go back to see what exactly they're expected to do. And I don't even know, this is another math class, so this is just supposed to be visually and application wise inspiring, so you can see what all is out there. So I have not shown you what your options are for let me open one. Is this, did I already show this one? No. Okay, so I'm going to open just a regular Google Doc. And some people would say a Google Doc for them is less um interactive maybe than Google Slide, because we were in a Google Slide at first. Just remember that some of the options are available in Google Docs as well. Now for me, I think the Google Doc gives you an option to maybe have more content, or because how big of a Google Slide how much can you squeeze in there? But you don't want to give your students that much, because the younger they are, or the less and well processing skills they have, it may get a little confusing. But you can insert and add tables in here as well, and I'm just going to do the same thing that I'm doing right here. You can give them choice A, choice B, choice C, and then maybe create different layers right here. But that's basically the same thing. The difference may be that you would like, let me write choice one, choice two, and choice three. That if you want to, let me see, highlight this, click on show document outline, and then you're actually able to give, and I know you can hear my dog in the background, give them, okay, so it's giving me, so obviously I've never used this before on this platform, ways to change how you want this to appear. So if you want to add headings where you're actually moving to different choices, where students have an opportunity to click from choice to choice. So it's going to jump from choice to choice for you. That's really the beauty of using Google Docs. But I like to use Google Docs for certain things, not particularly choice boards per se, because you have more space to work with, and you can actually, if necessary, if you click on file and go down to page setup, you can turn it landscape, and then that gives you even more space, and you can somewhat spread out a little more. Let's see. So these are some of the ones that were created by other educators, and this one is hyperlinked quite a bit. So instead of just having a link on there, it's actually, of course, we can't have our students access YouTube, but you can have websites that work for the students connected here, instructions on where to find certain pieces of information, and still give them the directions that they need right here. So basically, what it boils down to is the choice, to having the choice, and that gives the student the opportunity to be creative. Let's see if this is one more. So this is a plain and simple one, and not big or as in per se you would say a choice board, but it also gives you an option to just lay it out for the student with the instructions on top. I think this is probably really dry, but why not start somewhere like this so you can get familiar with the hyperlinking and the instructions, and then the next time around you can actually, because this looks actually very professional, and I would see this maybe in a um, 11th or 12th grade class, or even in a college class. So maybe you can see what the maturity level of your group of students is, and maybe present something simple to like this to them. That's not my personal choice, but this is the beginning, because you have to start somewhere. And what we did as trainers and liaisons, we actually created new choice boards from this. But this is basically what the purpose was today, for you to be able to introduce the level of creativity that students need to have, and they should continue to work on when it comes to education. Let's see. Let me go down here and make sure that I've covered everything. Oh, this one right here is basically the examples of the choice boards. What I did like about it, you see those X's. If the student is choosing or not choosing, see, everything else can't really be, it can be moved around, but the student can't really edit it. Oops. Well, when you give it to them, not my option. But if you provide them with the X's on top, they can actually go ahead and have options to check off the choices that they would like to make. So let me go ahead and finalize this training today, and make sure that you are able to utilize what you've learned. And if you've learned anything, if not, I am available to you in room 141, and just reach out to me if you would like to make an appointment. You can reach me through my email. I used to have a calendar where you can make appointments, but so many of you have become a lot more tech savvy, so you really don't need my assistance anymore. But once again, if you need me, I'm available, and I hope you have a wonderful day.